Good morning, everybody. We are back at it at Spur of the Moment series right from Southampton, actually socially distanced as we've been doing, talking to some really talented, interested people. I'm excited to interview today. I would call you a friend, Scott. You're absolutely a friend. You're a brilliant guy. We've talked in the past about Bitcoin apps. You were ahead of the curve on that, and I expect what we're going to talk about today, you'll also be ahead of the curve. People should know that Scott also did some of the wiring over at the Tesla Science Center here in Shoreham. So my affiliation with that has been significant over the last 10 years. I've introduced the executive director to Ashley of TheSpur. It's all one big friendship and science collaboration. So I love it. So ladies and gentlemen, Scott Lewis of ITM here to tell us about a brand new product he's working on. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
How you doing?
All right, Kevin, I appreciate you having me on to talk about why we no longer should make the electric company our favorite charity.
Let's start out by saying this. You know, everybody knows this, but people that don't live in Long Island don't realize that, let's be honest, some people, I think including myself, pay more for electric than other people in the United States pay for a mortgage. So let's start out by understanding it's not uncommon to have $400, $500 electric bills.
Precisely. And that's why I started ITM out in 2008. And I've perfected it in here at the Spur, where I'm speaking from. And the program I've perfected will save you up to 30% on your electric bill without replacing any equipment, plus give you zero cost stormy weather protection, power protection. So that's a real home run, because from your energy savings, you can pay for the stormy power protection program. And I'm really excited that Kevin called, because I just introduced this new app, and Apple approved it for over the holiday weekend. So I got my little Easter gift and or Passover gift, and we. So for you to have called, I couldn't ask for a better time. And you know, if you want me to explain how it is we do that, you know, I'd be glad to do that.
Well, let's do this first. What is the product called? What is the service called?
So the service or the app is called Emergen.
EMERGEN.
Correct.
Okay.
And and it initially was called FriendGen. And the reason it was called FriendGen was because my friend in Port Jefferson, Tom, during the storm of Sandy, I called him up. I said, "Tom, do you have lights?" And he goes, "Yes." He goes, "What do you want, to borrow my generator?" And that's when the light bulb went off. Now, I had already provisioned my house with these two boxes, which I'll show you. Mm-hmm. And so these two boxes were in my house. Actually, I've improved this one since that time to make it so that it's UL and you know, pass the codes. And I had it plugged into my dryer. So when I called my friend Tom, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, Scott, yeah, sure, you can borrow my generator." I'm like, "You're the best, Tom." And we, you know, have since our plan to get this out there. And what better way to do it than with an app? And I've been here at the Spur honing my skills on making apps. And of course, the app accepts Bitcoin, because as a lot of people know, I was working on Bitcoin. But what's really fantastic about the app is that in the event that there is a storm, you could press the button and we'd be given your location, and then we come over with two boxes or one and provide you with power, either 9-hour increments or 18-hour increments. And if those go out, then you just flag us and we come back, and either we provided you ahead of time, like a renewable energy option or a fuel option in the case of a generator. So no matter what, during the storm, you'll be prepared, and we bring over first aid, even food if necessary, if it's a real horrendous storm like the ones that we've been experiencing in Puerto Rico. So this is a real exciting time for the fact that we can use the sharing economy for power and for being prepared for the next storm. And that's what Emergen is all about.
So you described in an emergency situation when we first got on together, you talked about a savings of up to 30% on a bill. So if I'm paying $300 a month for electricity, how am I saving, for example, $100 or $90 a month on that bill?
Okay, so with one of those two boxes, you'll save at a minimum of 9%. And it's guaranteed. If you don't like it, you just take it off the wall and give it back if you don't see the savings. Um, we so then with the reason we say that we have zero cost for stormy weather protection is because you're going to get the transfer switch from the savings of your electric bill. So instead of spending the $6,000 on a generator, which is an awful investment, especially if you live on Long Island, or the Two Forks, because the salt water just destroys them in no time. So
Okay.
they just sit there and they rot, and then when you go to use them, they don't work, or you have to pay for expensive maintenance agreements and things like that. So that's why I actually had worked with or I shouldn't say but with a generator company, and I could never see selling generators because of the fact that I knew that they were an awful investment and that there had to be something better. And that's when I came up with this.
So the object of the box in terms of piping down electricity, right? It's less electricity usage. How is it doing that?
Okay, so alternating current works, and before I begin explaining the basics of AC, we have 15 treatments. So this is just one. The box I showed you is one of 15 treatments for cutting your electric bill. So so in the case of like your refrigerator, where there's an electric motor running, this box corrects what they call the power factor. And in addition, people say, "Oh, okay, let me like, what's that mean?" And it's like, well, and the current is alternating. So once every second, the current alternates, 1/60th of a second. Instead of it doing the round trip back to the electric company, it just does a dip into this box. So it cuts. That's where it's saving you, is that the round trip is cut in half. So that's essentially, and another way to say it is we recycle the energy locally instead of it having to go back and make the full round trip to the electric company.
Okay, I get it. So the addition of the box automatically has to cut the electric bill just because of the technology that it's using. That's number one, right?
Yes.
I had heard, this is just an aside, I don't want you to confirm it. I had heard no matter what you plug into an outlet, even if that item is off, it's drawing electricity. Is that true?
Well, actually, that's there's a whole house treatment to. So yeah, the answer is it depends on that one. But because I've actually, like with the batteries and things that I have at my house, I test to see if the chargers will draw energy even if I don't have a battery charging. And the answer on the one particular charger was yes, and on the other it was no. So it depends on the box.
So to take for an example, a TV that is plugged in, you see that green light, TV's not on, you think you're saving electricity turning it off, but I'm told that's still drawing.
Yes, the phantom energy.
Yeah.
Yes, and uh, to keep it like in a hot standby state.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
So that would be
the
true of
phantom.
computers, right? That would be true of computers. That would be true of a lot of items.
There
So
are quite a few items, and there is a whole house transfer switch treatment but that's not what we're talking about here. This is
no,
very
no.
simple. It's just two
Yep.
boxes. We come over, we plug it into your dryer, and away you go. You've got that.
Why the dryer, by the way? Why the dryer?
Oh, because it's a
220?
it's 220 or it's 40 amp, so it feeds like both branches of your house. So
Okay.
that's the recommended prescription. And we uh, and if you don't have a dryer, then there's other ways we can treat your house. So
Hmm. So what about the app portion of that? The app is allowing you to manage or look or both. What does the app actually do for the consumer to the resident?
okay, so what's really great about the app is, and I just added this yesterday. This is decision support. Like if you go to hit the get a generator button,
Hmm.
because you were in the middle of a huge storm and your lights were out, and it would prompt us and send us. And it has a search option up here to see where the outages are. I'm not going to click it at the moment. But it'll show you the outages that are in this area, like 50, 100. In addition, it shows you the weather forecast, so you can make a quick decision as to, okay, I got to get this generator. The storm's not going away. This power is going to be out for longer than an hour. I can't have that. I need my computer. I need my internet. I need my refrigerator. I'm going to get these guys over and to help us out.
Okay. So the app itself is taking several different feeds for decision making. Is it managing the device that you put in the house as well?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
That's an option down the road. But right now we're just launching this. We're giving the people the assurance that they need, that their friend is going to come over when there's a storm. Like
Gotcha.
when Tom had said, Scott, your lights are out. Yeah, feel free.
Gotcha.
And that's what this is going to
So
do.
it's peace of mind, it's real-time insurance, and weather is
Energy savings.
and
Yeah.
energy savings. How does one learn more about this? Should they download the app to look at, or should they go to a website? How do they learn more
Oh,
about?
okay. So we have a website, greenspacepros.com,
Hmm.
among others, Greenspace Men, Greenspace Women, Greenspace Kids, you name it. And then it'll take you to a landing page for Emergen, where it'll explain the app. And yes, the app is a free download. So you can go ahead and download it and try it out. And, of course, when you need it most, though, you're going to have to have you know, have subscribed, even though we will get notified if you need it without the subscription.
Hmm.
So
But
that's
is it available for both Android and Apple?
Android's in the making. Right now, this is the launch. We did it in preparation for Earth Day, which I have right here. We wanted to,
Nice.
and then the Corona thing occurred, and that's when we upped the ante on the service, where we will provide first
Mhm.
aid with the masks, and we'll provide dry food in the future. So we're going to prep for that. So preppers going to really love this. I mean, you'll be able to get your food, your power, and and even alternative currencies like Bitcoin if you wanted to. So we've got everything covered for
Mhm.
people that really want to prep for a storm like
You
this.
know, the prepper thing used to be, I'll be very honest with you, it used to be like, these people are crazy, this, that, and the other thing. Who would ever think we'd be locked down for 5 weeks in a pandemic? Therefore, nothing is crazy anymore. I don't think anything's off the table. I think you're crazy if you don't have 2 months worth of food in your basement. I really do. So this stuff is really important. Preparation is important. We'll come back as you develop this. We'll do a nice long YouTube to address that, and maybe we'll encompass some of the other things that keep people alive during these terrible times.
Well, that's it. It seems like crises are the new normal. So the good thing is about living out on the East End here is that we have the farms. So the farmers, and I've been working with the farms and the wineries and the breweries. They were my first customers
Mm.
with back in 2008, and the they have a real need for for A, distributing their product, which I'm going to help them do, and B, they need the energy savings.
Mhm.
And these alternatives for getting power in the event that there's a storm. because as you know, PSE&G is from New Jersey, and it's not in New York, I'm actually, I like to say that the reason it's no longer with the UK or National Grid is because of my efforts. And I like to believe that I had something to do with that.
I
In
love it.
fact, yeah.
I'm sure you did. Well, that's excellent. I am proud to be able to unveil this with you. Spur of the Moment series. This is where on the cutting edge of taking entrepreneurs like you, lifting you up, letting people know that we will go on, we will solve things, and you're at the forefront of that. So we totally appreciate that, Scott.
And I thank you, Kevin, for getting the word out, because we just literally launched for Earth Day and did a total 360, as you know.
I had it occur. Great. Good luck with it. Again, anybody that wants to download this free app on the Apple platform right now, they'll go and just search Emergen, Emergen.
Correct.
Thanks, Scott.
No, thank you.